government. There was a bit of mayhem in the National Assembly yesterday. The opposition party were against increasing. In fact, they were for reducing it from 5% rather to 2%, which is 5% is where it's at, which the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, according to the APC in the Senate, they said the Buhari's administration abused the 5% and they would rather have a 10% so they can have more laxity. We'll watch and see how that plays out. Basically, the Ways and Means facility allows the Apex Bank to provide short-term financing to the federal government to address budget shortfalls. Nigerians are concerned because this means that you're bypassing the Senate, because once you have a 10%, Ways and Means from the CBN, it means that the federal government can go to the CBN with whatever it needs without passing through the Senate. We'll watch and see how all this plays out. We'll be speaking with Rufai Oseni in just a moment. Meanwhile, in Abuja here, confines to the location for this protest has been made. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has barred protesters from marching on the streets of the nation's capital, ruling in an ex parte application brought before him by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Justice Sylvanus Chinedu Origi restricted participants in the proposed End Bad Governance protest from marching on the streets. Will Nigerians adhere? We'll watch and see how that plays out. Meanwhile, still on this issue of the planned nationwide protest, the U.S. State's mission in Nigeria has asked some of its staff not to come to work on the first days of the planned nationwide protest. In an emergency warning issued on Wednesday night, the U.S. Embassy Abuja and the U.S. Consulate General Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Meanwhile, on the eve of this nationwide protest, an improvised explosive device was discovered at a fence of the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, of the Nigeria Customs Service on Bank Anthony Way, Ikeja, Lagos on Wednesday. The object was discovered on the eve of the planned nationwide protest against the hardship in the land, even though some security agents have linked it to the hardship protest. Nigerians are saying, well, this is way too convenient. If you ask them, they're saying it's a way too convenient to have. Okay, you just stumbled on an IED a few hours before the nationwide protest. How possible is that? Well, we'll watch and see how that unfolds and what Rufai's take is on that particular story as well. Meanwhile, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has been dragged for his statement saying that while Nigerians are on the streets protesting, he and some of those who are supporters of the APC administration will be at home eating. Well, let's listen to how it was said.
Feel the impact of what is happening now, but we are aware that it will be for a short while. The specific issues faced by the Niger Delta must be contained in that communique because we are going to make it available to Mr. President. The ones that need legislation will come to us. The ones that need intervention will go to NDDC. The ones that need more money will go to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I assure you that those issues will be addressed. MD, I want to thank you for what you said. You said, we are not interested in regime change. Let us own this government. Those who want to protest can protest, but let us be there eating. Am I right? I must thank Niger Delta. So, in conclusion, we acknowledge the fact that the impact of oil and gas activities in our region has done the President.
Well, ahead of the hunger protest scheduled to begin today, the Senate President mocked organizers of the planned protest to go ahead with the demonstration while they watch on eating. Well, that has sparked a lot of concerns from Nigerians, and they don't drag them like saying a small generator. We'll watch and see how that plays out. This is not the first or second or third statement that the Senate President has made so far. As the number 3 man in the country, you begin to wonder if he understands just how the severity of his position as the leader of the Senate and the number 3 leader in the nation. This is not the first statement he's making to anger a lot of Nigerians. It's neither the second nor the third. He's been dragged across all social. So we'll watch and see how that plays out. Meanwhile, in Ghana, there was a protest yesterday. This is coming with leaders unrelenting graft. They had placards, state farms. They had a lot of different, they said reduce fuel and cost of gas in the country. They had different inscriptions on those placards, and they went ahead. They said fix the upstream oil industry now to fix the country. We demand a fair share of our oil money to fix the country. Where is the scrap the hybrid system and adopt the PSA. I mean, there were a lot of inscriptions that they carried out yesterday, and the protest went unabated. It meant undisturbed all through the movement for that protest, and it was had on the streets. Imagine the contrast that we're having right here in the country. There was no dragging them to say, no, don't go on protest, no, don't do that and all that. But we're having our own situation different from theirs. Let's take a listen.
Igbos.
They were seen chanting and screaming on the streets of Ghana just to get the government to listen to their plights. Well, here, ours is a different, a different tale. We have the Honorable Benjamin Kalu. He has a political perspective here, and he was talking about the fact that the Igbos should not join in the nationwide protest. Let's take a listen.
Igbos, stay away. Igbos, stay in your houses. You'll be used as an scapegoat. They will target you and they will waste you. Igbos, we have died enough. Our blood has filled the street enough. We'll be strong enough. For this protest, let us be weak now. Let those ones who are strong, let them stand on the streets. Igbos, be weak now to sit at home. If there's any sit at home that will be effective, not the one you have done on Mondays, let it be the one that will happen at this protest. As one of the leaders of this country, and as one of the leaders from the southeastern region that you love and you have confidence in, I am telling you, if you have never shown weakness before, let it be shown now. Igbos, we have shown strength in civil war. We have shown strength in agitation. We have shown strength in fighting for IPOB and MASOB and all the rest of them. In sitting at home. Please be weak now. Because they were looking for opportunity to slaughter you. Sit at home. Igbos, stay away.
I mean, this is a very, very it's a very inciting statement. Who is looking for an opportunity to slaughter the Igbos? You are one of the leaders of this nation, and this is what you have to say. I'm not supporting the protest. I'm not supporting anyone going out to protest. But this particular statement made by a leader, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, warning the Igbos to stay away. This planned protest, I mean, hunger knows no tribe or religion, right? When everyone is hungry, whether the Igbos, the Hausas, the Yorubas, the Ijos, the Urobos, every single person is affected by hunger. It knows no tribe. Shebi, when you go to the markets, they ask you, are you Yoruba? Are you Emilokon? Or yeah, take this one. Do they ask you that? I mean, when it comes to statements like this, now we're beginning to politicize a situation that shouldn't be politicized. I mean, some of our leaders should be called to caution when they make statements as bold and as inciting as this. Some people have said this is emotional blackmail, and it's bold. It's such a bold statement made by an individual such as this. And this is a fight between politicians and well-meaning Nigerians, not tribe, not Igbos against the government, right? So why didn't the Igbos stay away from politics so they won't use them as scapegoats? Why? Why didn't you call for the Igbos to stay away? I mean, the Igbos have been agitating that they have been left out, especially in governance. So why then are we trying to politicize something that is not supposed to be politicized? There was a comment here. It says, "I love how he's emotionally blackmailing them, and some people will fall for it." This is very interesting, all that has played out so far. We'll watch and see how everything plays out. Meanwhile, there was a heavy police presence yesterday in Lagos and some parts of Abuja as well. If you're not watching our YouTube live, then you're missing out, because some of these voices that we're playing, we have the videos running on our YouTube. So you want to stick around and watch them. It's on Voice of the People, Abuja. Voice of the People, Abuja. We're live on YouTube. Voice of the People, Abuja. Let's choose as they are occurring. We have this video talking about the fact that the police and some other individuals, where there was a heavy presence of the police in Lagos. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, so show of force.
Well, that was the show of force right there. They were chanting and singing, different songs. You know how it is with military men and all that. On a lighter note, some of the policemen there, some of them have big tummies, and Nigerians were saying, if Kasala boss now, can they run? That's on a lighter note. But hey, there's been a lot happening, and we need to be very, very, very careful, especially looking at some of the situations that we're facing at the moment. Meanwhile, there was a conversation yesterday had as regards this nationwide protest. Major General Henry Ayola, a former commander of Operation Safe Haven in Jos, and he talked about intelligence, its role, the role it has to play in all of this, because the police kept saying that they had intelligence about the protest getting hijacked and all of that. So let's listen to what he had to say about that.
Part of what you want to do is to actually go on the path of prevention. Prevent. I mean, it's a common saying that prevention is better than cure. When you receive intelligence, part of what you want to do is to actually go on the path of prevention. Okay? Yes, you receive intelligence. Now, don't forget that you are talking about different groups protesting. It's not just one group. Let's look at it. Even if the leaders of each group can take responsibility for their group, what of the other groups? I tell you, even within the security agencies, when you do operations, there is usually the advantage of commanders, being familiar with their troops to get the best results. In the case where even as security agencies, if you are going to operate even jointly or in a unified form beyond the armed forces and other agencies, you need a level of, esprit de corps, a level of familiarity, having trained together, to be able to succeed. And that's what makes it totally dicey when it comes to protest, because you are dealing with strange bedfellows with diversity of intentions and goals and objectives, so that there is no one single person involved that can actually take total overall responsibility. So for the security agencies, how do you manage that? It becomes utterly almost impossible. So even if you have intelligence, the intelligence does not mean that you are ubiquitous as to be able to handle all the vagaries that are being presented.
All right. Well, his point is valid, looking at the fact that when there are lots of people coming together, you do not know the interests, the vested interests that are being represented in those groups of individuals. Meanwhile, you can join the conversation. It's at 0808 312 8618. Pardon me, 0808 312 8618. 0808 312 8618. You can call me up and let me know what you think about our conversation this morning. Let your voices be heard. Will you also be going out to protest? Let me know about it as well. 0808 312 8618. or will you be sitting at home as Benjamin Kalu has called for? This is the only valid sit at home order that you should be taking. Well, let me know. 0808 312 86 on our YouTube. It is at Voice of the People Abuja. Voice of the People Abuja. Join us and leave a comment. What is going on? All right, we have Mr. Rufai on the phone. Good morning.
Morning, yeah.
All right, Mr. Rufai, I think we should just get started. Today is the day for the nationwide protest, and there's been a bit of a uncertainty in the air, especially with the explosive that was, some people have said, conveniently found in Lagos, Bank Anthony Way yesterday. What do you make of that?
All of a sudden, one day, all this police will find explosive. In one day to protest, police found explosive. All of a sudden, the police that they told about the threats by people to cause violence in Lagos, police didn't say anything about it. So one day, they found explosive. Let's just be doing everything to blackmail this protest. We are watching. All of a sudden, they found explosive. All of a sudden. One night before the protest, they found explosive. And they found explosive last week. All of a sudden, they found explosive. Let's stop deceiving ourselves in this country.
All right. Yesterday in Ghana, they embarked on a nationwide protest, and it was predominantly peaceful. They were also protesting bad governance, ending bad governance and corruption, and probing their oil sector, the upstream oil sector, and all that. And it was predominantly peaceful. I mean, we didn't hear this back and forth between the government and the people saying no, don't go out to protest and all of that. So why exactly is our own case different? What exactly is the issue with Nigerians going out to protest?
I mean, some other elders, Mirza Yusuf and the like, they support the protest. So there's no issue. It's just the states trying to manipulate here and there and trying to do everything to sow distraction and discord. So that's their problem. But there's no issue, really. I think there's any issue. There's no issue. Who have the right to protest? I don't even know why it's such a big deal in the first place.
All right. The Senate president was dragged yesterday for a statement he made. Some people have said it's very insensitive, especially to the plight. And looking at his position as the third man in the country, he made a statement saying that, we will continue with the Tinubu's government and we will be eating while others will be out in the streets protesting.
He said what?
He said that that Nigerians will be in the streets protesting while lovers of the APC and the Tinubu's administration, they do not want it to change. They will be home eating. So Nigerians have talked about the fact that he's been insensitive, especially to their plight, looking at his position as the number 3 leader in the country.
So, I mean, keep saying a lot of other sensitive things. So I just hope he starts to think reasonably, really. That's what I hope.
All right, moving on a bit from this conversation. Ooh, all right, I think we lost that call, but try to re-establish contact with Rufai. Meanwhile, just know that the number to call 0808 312 8618 0808 312 8618 is the number to call to be part of our conversation. The National Assembly passed a bill yesterday to increase the CBN Ways and Means loan to federal government. The Senate and the House of Reps yesterday passed that bill. You know, on Monday we had seen a circular that there was going to be an emergency plenary session yesterday for the National Assembly, looking at this issue of the nationwide protest. When they came on board, this was the conversation that was had, increasing the ways and means to double the Ways and Means borrowing limit from 5% to 10% of federal government's revenue. That conversation has been tagged as insensitive, especially looking at the National Assembly. The upper chamber of the Nigerian legislature raised the credit facility obtainable by the federal government from the Apex Bank from 5% to 10% of the revenue of a fiscal year. Now, the Ways and Means facility, this is what it does. It allows CBN to provide short-term financing to the federal government to address budget shortfalls and all of that without the influence of the Senate. Yesterday, the Senate, the opposition party, they were against it. I mean, you could hear them fervently shouting no, no, no to that particular bill by the Senate leader, Kwemi Bamidele. He said the executive bill, read for the first time on Wednesday, is intended to enable the federal government to meet its immediate and future obligations due to the increasing need for funds to finance budget deficits and other expenses. All right. He explained that the loans would provide immediate funds, address budget shortfall, that the margin of increase should be from 5% to 10%. They said that while the increase is necessary for economic development, there should be adequate monitoring of capital projects to ensure that the funds are used exclusively for infrastructure and legacy projects. Now, what you should know about this is that the ways, all right, we have a Rufai coming in right about now. Hello.
A lot of interruptions here and there.
All right, so let's talk about the Ways and Means, the amended bill to increase the Ways and Means borrowing limit from 5% to 10% of the federal government's revenue. Mr. Rufai, what do you make of this?
That's very reckless. President Tinubu's government and the Senate are very reckless. The same Ways and Means that we complain that it caused a lot of problem. That's what they want to increase the spending limit for. It is very reckless, and we should be watchful. And it's so reckless that you saw that some members of the Senate yesterday, they staged their walk. Of it here. What kind of recklessness of it here? It is very sad.
At this point, I mean, we had the news that the Senate was going to convene an emergency meeting to discuss the hardships in the country. That was what we thought on Monday, only for them to convene and discuss the increment of the borrowing limit from 5% to 10%. I don't know.
It's because they're reckless. It's because they're very reckless. That's recklessness. We all complain that one of the reasons for the inflation we have is Ways and Means, and you are still being reckless to increase that number, increase that volume. That's recklessness.
All right, Mr. Rufai, just help us understand, for the sake of our listeners. Some of them may not
It's
even
unacceptable.
understand. Hello, Mr. Rufai.
Yes.
Yes, please just help us put into perspective what exactly is the Ways and Means for the benefit of some of our listeners who do not understand.
Ways and Means pretty much means the amount the central bank can borrow governments, the debts central bank can borrow governments. Prior to this time, it was 5% of the last year's revenue government makes. So central bank can only borrow governments an extension of over 5% of the last year's revenue. Now the government want to make it possible for them to be able to borrow 15% of the previous year's revenue. That's what it means.
Without passing through the Senate. What I mean is they can get this 10% without requesting for any there's no oversight by the Senate on this particular issue. Not the passing of the bill.
Once you put it in the law, it's already forward advance. So that's what they're trying to do. So once they change the law, it becomes easy.
So we've seen the SGF, we've seen other senators, other ministers talking to Nigerians about the president understanding the concerns of Nigerians. At this point, with the body language of the Senate, with the body language of the president, even till now, the president hasn't come out to talk to Nigerians about this issue of protest. He hasn't said anything directly to Nigerians. I mean, what do you make of it?
He doesn't care. The only people he cares to talk to are the stakeholders. He doesn't care. He has put police out there. At least with disciplined people. He has put every apparatchik in place. They've come to threaten people not to protest. So he doesn't care. Like anything happens, it happens. He doesn't care. Doesn't see anything like he sees. That's what it means. Doesn't care about you.
All right. Mr. Rufai, is there any other headline you'd like to touch upon before we call it a wrap on our
All I would just
conversation?
say, people should go out there, exercise their civil right peacefully, without any sense of provocation. That's just it. Don't provoke others. If others provoke you, try to stay away from provocation. That's just it.
Okay, the IGP has ordered cops to deal decisively with troublemakers and arsonists. First of all, I don't know if this should be
Threats by some hoodlums in Lagos. He didn't say anything about it. So he knows where the troublemakers are going to come from.
all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rufai. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'm sure we'll speak tomorrow after watching this first day of the planned protest.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Bless.
All right, you have the opportunity to call me up and let me know what you think about this. 0808-312-8618 is the number to call to be a part of our conversation. You can also leave a comment on YouTube at Voice of the People Abuja. Leave a comment. I'll take them in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's take a listen to this particular conversation that was had yesterday at the Senate, where the opposition party staged a walkout from the Senate yesterday due to this conversation of the ways and means. Yet, in local balance, still upon still, the APC members of the Senate went ahead to pass that bill to increase the borrowing limit through the ways and means from 5% to 10%. Let's take a listen.
It's not too good for us. And that's why I even think that we should reduce from the 5% that we presently have to 2%, which will make the government more accountable, more prudent in management.
What we are saying is that for the survival of the economy and for us to move on, we need to move away from where we are now, which was abused by the previous CBN, and that we need to move to 15%, which can be subject to amendment. You now want to downgrade again to 2%, which is already below the belt.
A report on a bill for an act to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act to increase the Central Bank of Nigeria's total advances to the federal government from 5% to 10% and for related matters.
Mr. Speaker, this is very unruly.
Members
are not supposed to speak.
Of the House.
Standing on the House, please. Chief Whip.
Order! Honorable colleagues.
Order, go. Don't disturb the House. Carry it.
You can hear.
All right, then.
You can hear the mayhem yesterday in the Senate, yet we had the members of the APC in the Senate. They went ahead to pass that bill, even as the opposition members of the National Assembly staged a walkout yesterday. I don't know if the yeas had it or the nays had it yesterday. Meanwhile, we'll have a few comments here. It said, "What is going on?" Kevin Ndubisi, thank you for that comment. Kolade Dada says, "Why can't the government make provisions for more jobs?" Suleiman Adamu is saying that is mad. That's why. Okay, I don't know what you're referring to. Maybe you send me another message to clarify what you're referring to exactly. White Lion says the opposition has to join the protest now because their voices don't count in the Senate. Well, we'll watch and see how all this drama plays out. 0808 312 8618 is the number to call to be a part of our conversation this morning. 0808 312 8618 is the number to call. You can also leave a comment or two on our YouTube at Voice of the People Abuja. We're live on YouTube, Voice of the People Abuja. Meanwhile, Asari Dokubo he made a comment yesterday on the nationwide protest. He says he has the capacity, and if they bring the protest to the Niger Delta, they go collect woto. Go and ask those who protested during and SARS. This is former militant leader Asari Dokubo based on this statement. What exactly isn't this statement indicting in itself? He says, go and ask protesters during and SARS. So what did you do during and SARS? Were you one of the individuals who caused mayhem, especially within the Niger Delta? Were you one of the elements who ensured that protest did not go peacefully? I mean, you can see some of the body language of these individuals. I'll play his comment as well as that of Benjamin Kalu, the the Deputy House of Reps leader. So you can see some of the body language of these individuals and deduce for yourself what the statements mean. Let's take a listen.
Anybody have the right to protest? I also have the right to resist protest. Where your right stop, that's where my right begins. I am anti-protest. People will say that they've given him money. That's why he's talking this way. I am now. Go take your own. Me, I don't take my own. Those who brought anti-SARS protest and went to Obibo, they collected from me woto. Anybody have the right to...
Well, that is the voice of Asari Dokubo. And you begin to wonder, based on what authority do you have to make these statements? On whose orders do you have to make these strong statements saying that if Nigerians have a right to protest, he also has the right to resist protest? Are you a state actor? Are you the governor of the Niger? Are you the minister of the Niger Delta? Are you a governor of any of the Niger Delta states? In what authority do you have to be making such comments? Is what a lot of Nigerians have been asking. Meanwhile, I'll take Benjamin Kalu's statement once again so you can get the whole point of this conversation.
Stay away. Igbo, stay in your houses. You'll be used as an scapegoat. They will target you and they will waste you. Igbos, we have died enough. Our blood has filled the street enough. Allow those who feel they can do it, let them go and do it. We'll be strong enough. For this protest, let us be weak now. Let those ones who are strong, let them stand on the streets. Igbos, be weak now to sit at home. If there's any sit at home that will be effective, not the one you have done on Mondays, let it be the one that will happen at this protest. As one of the leaders of this country, as one of the leaders from the southeastern region, that you love and you have confidence in, I am telling you, if you have never shown weakness before, let it be shown now. Igbos, we have shown strength in civil war. We have shown strength in agitation. We have shown strength in fighting for IPOB and MASOB and all the rest of them. In sitting at home. Please be weak now. Because they were looking for opportunity to slaughter you. Sit at home. Igbos, stay.
All right, so I have a couple of comments right here on YouTube. Chimo B. Joseph says, the reception here in the East is a bit unusual. The show of shame yesterday at the Red Chambers is just to show you that these people are not here for the good of the people, but for themselves. Desmond Romeo says, this is crazy that a nation like Nigeria is afraid of protest. Having protest is our nation. In our nation is a global thing. My opinion is we should make peaceful protests. We are tired of every single thing. Yinka Thomas says, whose shop and houses are they demolishing? Well, These and many more have formed the basis of our conversation this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation. We'll have a State of the Nation conversation with Mr. Larry in just a bit. You have to stick around for that because we want to understand some of the actions the federal government has taken so far since this issue of protest has taken place, right? Some of the actions the federal government has taken to stop this demonstration. We'll be looking at it and then looking at socio-economic things that are important to Nigerians. What are those socio-economic things that are important to us to at least alleviate some of our sufferings here in the country? We'll take all of that with Mr. Larry in just a bit. You have to stick around for that. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button and let us know that you are listening. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this morning. If you are going to go out to protest, you have to remain safe during this period. Know why you're protesting. If you plan to join in any protest, you must not be caught off guard on why you joined in the first place. Okay, make sure you understand why you're protesting. Number two is you have to ensure you know the assembly point before the protests begin and familiarize yourself with all possible routes throughout the protest. Keep your identity card with you just in case things go awry and the police decide to pick up any individual from the streets. You know, they've said if Nigerians are ready for violence, them too, they are ready for violence. So keep your identity card with you. To stay hydrated, ensure you carry enough water in your bag, right? Put some snacks in your bag to eat, and then if you have any health concern, kindly take your medications with you. Use a nose mask in case security operatives decide to fire tear gas. Keep a hand sanitizer with you in your bag to be used at intervals. Put on light clothes as well and sneakers to use to ensure your movement, ease your movement. Keep your mobile phone fully charged. Ensure that you are carrying engine as power bank. Having enough airtime on your line is also advisable, right? Having data as well. I don't know what the internet, the connectivity in terms of phone calls is going to be like, because sometimes during protests we have these issues of connectivity. So ensure that you have airtime and data with you as well. So while it's safe to stay in groups, you should also be very wary of people and activities in your surroundings. Stay alert. Stay alert. Okay, obey the protest organizers and the leaders. Don't go against their directives. Do not taunt any security official simply because you have the constitutional right to protest. There are some individuals who say, "Oh God, waiting you feed do." Get into the faces of these policemen. Ensure that you do not do that, please, to keep you safe and ensure that there's no violence whatsoever. So you do not instigate violence against the police or the security agencies, and then the security agencies will in turn not, go ahead to hit you up with any issue or the other. Agbeni Temitokwe says Nigeria now cruise. Desmond Romeo says okay, he says we are tired of every single thing that is going on in our nation. We, the businessmen, were facing an ethnic issue with the exchange rate and the custom duty charge. 2 days ago, CBN was 550,000 naira. Now, a lot of our economic challenges in our nation: no food, no job, no good roads, transportation is a no-go area. Thank you so much for your messages. We love and appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll take a break and pay some bills right about now. When I come back, I'll be speaking with Mr. Larry Ogoego in just a moment. Stay tuned.